Good afternoon, all of you. So, can you see the slide spleen on the screen? Amstrad?
Yes, ma'am, spleen.
Okay. So, we will discuss spleen in detail today. Okay. So, what are the learning objectives? We will see where is it exactly situated, what are the relations of spleen, what is the blood supply, nerve supply, venous drainage and lymphatic drainage. Okay. So, under these headings only usually you will be asked the question. Okay. We will see the clinical implications that are based on the relation of this organ as we will see. So now, a small introduction. So spleen has variously been described as a seat of laughter, source of black bile in the body, a locus of conflicting emotions. Before exactly it was discovered like it's an organ. Basically, what is it? Spleen. Of course, in English, the meaning of spleen is ill temper. But what
Graveyard.
it's a place where the lymphocytes are produced. That basically now what we know about spleen is it's an organ of immunity, isn't it? For the defense mechanism. You see here, we know the 9 regions of abdomen. Every day I'm telling you, isn't it? So when you see the 9 regions of the abdomen, where is it situated? In which region you are finding? The
Left suprachondral.
left hypochondrium. Left hypochondrium.
Left
Okay. So it is in contact. Actually, you have seen spleen in the stomach bed also. That means once you remove the stomach, behind we will see the spleen. So spleen is in contact with the stomach, and spleen is situated in front of the left kidney, and it lies behind the left colic flexure and also left dome of diaphragm. Okay. So hilum is a single area where you will see the entry and exit of these structures. Okay, the splenic artery, splenic vein and all. Okay. Now coming to the location. Now see here. So what are the ribs under which, see this is the lateral view of the abdomen which is viewed from the left side because spleen is seen on the left side. You are telling it is behind the stomach. So that means it is situated below which ribs you are finding? Under the cover of 9th, 10th and 11th ribs. Okay. So it is a reddish oval shaped largest single mass of hemolymphoid tissue in the body. Okay. So I will tell you about borders and we will see the anterior border will have a notch. Of course it's not so clearly visible here but better pictures I will show you. Okay. So location, where is it situated? Just now I told you it is situated in the left hypochondrium, beneath the left dome of diaphragm, left half of the dome of the diaphragm. Under which ribs? 9th, 10th and 11th ribs. Okay, and the long axis of the spleen, see if you see this is the long axis of the spleen. So this long axis of the spleen is actually parallel to 10th rib. That means if you draw a line like this becomes the long axis which is parallel to 10th rib. Okay, so now see here in our body, now see here, how is the spleen placed? You continuously look at my hand in order to understand the position, otherwise you will not understand. Consider my left palm with spleen. So it has two ends. Okay. So medial end is there and lateral end is there. So medial end is 4 centimeters away from the midline. Suppose this is the midline. Okay. So suppose this my right hand is vertebral column. So the medial end of the spleen is 4 centimeters away from the midline and lateral end is corresponding to the mid-axillary line. Did you get the point? My right hand I am asking you to consider as vertebral column. This becomes the medial end and this becomes the lateral end. So medial end is 4 centimeters away from the vertebral column. It is placed in such a way. Okay, and lateral end is lying. It is corresponding to the mid-axillary line. Mid-axillary line. Is that point clear, Lokesh?
Yes, ma'am.
ఇట్లా tilted గా ఇట్లా ఉంటది బెట మన బాడీలో. Okay, within the tail of pancreas you will see it is like this. Okay, and this is the medial end. Near to midline, whatever end is there, you call it as medial end. Away from midline, whatever end is there, that is the lateral end. During dissection hall, during your viva also, you will be so much confused. Always hold the spleen like this with the examiner, exactly like this. Okay. Keep the medial end close to the vertebral column, lateral end which is corresponding to the mid-axillary line. Okay. This is the way you hold the spleen. Exactly this cone size only, the spleen is also. Really it is like this only. Okay. That is. So medial end is how many centimeters away from the midline? 4 centimeters. And lateral end is lying in the
4.
mid-axillary line. Okay. Now, the surface anatomy of the spleen, the anterior end. The anterior end is nothing but the mid-axillary line, that end, that is nothing but the lateral end, what I said just now. So posterior end is, so this is little confusing. The previous point you remember it is enough better. 4 centimeters away from the vertebral column is the medial end. Mid-axillary line is the lateral end. So medial end can be also called as the posterior end and lateral end can be also called as anterior end. Okay, that is. Now under which ribs I am telling you it is placed? 9th, 10th and
9,
11th.
10, 11.
Very good. 9th, 10th and 11th ribs. Okay. Now see here. Now see this is how spleen looks in the body. Exactly. Exactly the spleen looks like this and you are supposed to place in your palm. Ribs are considered. You consider these ribs as your palm. Okay. Understood? So this end becomes the medial end. This end becomes the lateral end. Okay. The medial end is around 4 centimeters away from the vertebral column. Okay. Now see here. Now coming to the spleen, overall it is 1 inch thick, 3 inch broad. This is the breadth. 3 inch broad, 5 inch long, 7 ounces in weight. Okay. If you just look at these numbers, it looks like as though you are talking about odd numbers. Odd numbers 1, 3, 5, 7 and 9, 10, 11. If you consider those ribs, so all odd numbers from 1 to 11 you can remember for spleen, which is actually called as Harry's dictum. Harry Potter is there, no? Like that. Harry's dictum, easy to remember. 1 to 11. 1 inch thickness, 3 inch.
Ma'am, can you repeat?
I am repeating. So you have odd numbers 1 to 11. Okay. So 1 inch is the thickness of spleen. 3 inch is
Your
the
voice is breaking, ma'am.
voice is breaking.
Hmm.
Just try to listen better. So I'm talking spleen, it's written also here, try to correlate. The thickness of spleen is 1 inch. Okay?
Hmm.
The breadth of spleen is 3 inches. Yes?
Hmm.
The length of spleen is 5 inch. Weight of spleen is 7 ounce. Okay, these are all odd numbers 1, 3, 5, 7. Okay, odd numbers. Now, when you just consider the ribs 9th, 10th, 11th, if you just continue these numbers 1, 3, 5, 7, 9, and 11, 9th to 11th rib. That means from 1 to 11, you can remember as odd numbers. That is the easy way to remember the measurements, weight and also location of spleen, which is called as Harry's dictum. D-I-C-T-U-M. Harry's dictum. Is that clear, Ritika?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so what are the two ends I told you? One end near to the midline I told you is medial end. The other end which is away from midline is lateral end. Okay, it has two borders. The border which is above like this, two borders. The border which is above like this. What is the name of this border? Just guess. Very good. Superior border, Chavi. What is the border which you have down, Meghana?
Inferior.
Very good. Inferior border. Okay, as such, if you see spleen, you will see certain lobules like this, lobule. That shows during embryonic development, spleen is actually formed by the collision. That means all small nodules are fusing to form spleen. Okay, so the upper border is little notched because the spleen during embryonic development is formed due to the fusion of small lobules. Okay. Now coming to the surfaces. Now if you observe this surface, what are you finding at this surface? You are finding hilum, isn't it? Where you have splenic artery and splenic vein. Okay, that means this surface is close to stomach. That means and other visceral organs. That's why this surface of the spleen is called visceral surface. Okay, and the other surface is resting below diaphragm. Okay, this is the view. This is the surface which is actually resting below diaphragm. So this surface of the spleen is called diaphragmatic surface. Diaphragmatic surface. How many surfaces does it have? Ritika?
2.
What are those?
Diaphragmatic and visceral surface.
Visceral surface and diaphragmatic surface. I was telling you it has some notch, no? See, this is the upper border. Can you see the deep notch here? Yes? So this notch is actually telling us like spleen is formed by the fusion of small splenic nodules. Okay. Now when you observe this diaphragmatic surface, so it is lying posteriorly. That means this is the surface which is resting on ribs. Isn't it? See, it is resting on ribs because this surface is visceral surface. The other surface from behind will be the diaphragmatic surface. Okay. So it is resting on which ribs? What are the numbers?
9th and 11th.
Very good. 9th, 10th and 11th.
Ma'am,
Huh.
which one is medial and lateral side, ma'am?
Okay. See here, this one which is close to the vertebral.
No, ma'am, in that picture, in the other picture, ma'am.
This
one,
one.
ma'am.
This is written, no beta, posterior extremity is this. Okay. Anterior extremity is this. Okay. This is anterior. I'll tell you the features of these two ends, Chavi. Don't worry. Okay.
Okay, ma'am.
So diaphragmatic surface is resting on 9th, 10th and 11th rib, and the diaphragmatic surface is convex and smooth. And if you observe from this picture again, this surface, diaphragmatic surface is actually separated from the lung by means of pleura. What is the recess you have there? Diaphragm separates it from the pleura in lung. What recess do we have there? What recess?
Costodiaphragmatic
Very
recess.
good, Ritika. Very good, Hemalata. So costodiaphragmatic recess. Okay, you can see. So this is the spleen, and here you have the costodiaphragmatic recess. Okay, then this is one more close-up picture which helps us to understand like it is lying over 9. This will be our. See, this is the mid-axillary line. Mid-axillary line means this is the lateral end, Chavi. Okay, and this is the medial end. Okay, then so the spleen is separated from lung by means of the costodiaphragmatic recess. Okay, now what is the name of this surface? Visceral surface. Okay, now see here one more clue also I am giving you, Chavi. See, this is the actually this end is the medial end which is close to the vertebral column. Okay, which is lying like this, medial end. Okay, and this end is the lateral end. How to make out? See here, colic surface is here. Now, if you just observe, read this picture, you are finding certain impressions because this is visceral surface. So, stomach is coming and pressing here, like liver also had visceral impressions, right? Similarly, spleen is also having nearby organs will press over it. So, this is gastric impression. Here, left kidney will come and press over it. Renal impression. Okay, our renal surface. Here, left colic flexure will come and press over it. Okay, you have transverse colon, isn't it? So left colic flexure will come and it will just press over it. Okay, so that is, so we have colic surface, gastric surface, renal surface, and tail of pancreas is coming and getting attached to the hilum of spleen. We know this pretty well. So this surface is pancreatic surface. What is the name of this? Whole hilum gives attachment to the tail of pancreas. That's why you call this surface as pancreatic surface. What are the blood vessels entering, Meghana? What is the name of this artery?
Splenic
Yeah.
artery and splenic vein.
Excellent, very good. Splenic artery and splenic vein. Okay, so that is the visceral surface. Okay, it is divided by this ridge into the gastric surface. Okay, and this surface which is towards the posterior end, we have the renal surface. Okay, lower extremity. Here we have right colic impression, sorry, left colic impression, and this whole area is hilum, which is giving attachment to the tail of pancreas. That's why you call this area as pancreatic surface. So which surface we have seen just now?
Visceral.
Visceral surface. Okay, now see, this is our visceral surface. This becomes the medial end, this becomes the lateral end. Okay, and tail of pancreas is coming here. Now see the impressions. See, what is the name of this flexure of transverse colon? Left colic
Left
flexure.
colic.
What is the other name given to left colic flexure? Splenic. Splenic flexure. Which kidney is this? Left. Very good. Left kidney. Okay, this area is occupied by stomach, of course, which is not seen. Okay, so here you will have gastric surface. You have seen in the previous picture pretty well. Okay, isn't it? That is the gastric surface, which is upwards, forwards, and medially. It is broad and concave, isn't it? It is quite big and it is concave. And gastric surface is related to stomach. Renal surface is related downwards, okay, medially, and it is somewhat flattened and it is related to which kidney? Left kidney. Left kidney. Okay, and the lower extremity, okay, this lower extremity, which colic flexure? Left colic flexure is coming here. Okay, and moreover, it is triangular in shape. That picture only will help us. Is it not like a triangle if you observe? Okay, so what area is this? Colic surface. Okay, so it is triangular in shape. Okay, rests upon the left flexure of colon. And this is the place where you will see there is one ligament attached. I will show in my following slides this ligament. But I explained this ligament when I was taking peritoneum. What is the meaning of phrenico-colic ligament? Phrenico-colic.
From diaphragm to
Very good.
Colon.
Okay. Left colic
Left
flexion.
colon.
So actually it is nowhere attached to the spleen, but still it supports the spleen. And suppose this is the spleen and this will be the ligament. It is holding the spleen from behind. This is the ligament, this is the spleen. Okay.
Mom, voice breaking, mom.
Actually, phrenico-colic ligament is the ligament which is extending from the diaphragm to the left colic flexure, which is holding the spleen from behind. Okay? Phrenico-colic.
Yes.
Hemalata, could you hear?
Yes, mom, a little bit.
Okay. Now see, this is the hilum of spleen. What are we finding? Meghana already told us. What are we finding here? Splenic artery, splenic vein. What is coming and getting attached here? Tail of pancreas. Okay, that is. Now coming to this border. This is above, no? So what is the name of this border? Superior border. Okay, it is free, it is sharp, it is thin, and often can you see notch here? This is little bit clear notch. Okay, so this is notch. Okay, so I told you this notch is superior notch. I told you this is shown because spleen is formed during development by the fusion of small nodules. Okay, so this border, the superior border, is separating the diaphragmatic surface from the stomach area, gastric surface. Okay, the superior border separates. Suppose This is the superior border. This side you will have gastric surface. This side you will have diaphragmatic surface. Okay. This border is separating the diaphragmatic surface from the gastric surface. Okay. What is the name of this border now? Lower down. Inferior border. Okay. It is more rounded and it is blunt. Okay. So it is separating. What is the name of this area? This area. Renal area. Renal area is now separated. This renal area is now separated from diaphragmatic area by means of this inferior border. And which rib is corresponding here? Which rib? It is corresponding to which rib? 11th rib. Inferior border is corresponding to 11th rib. Okay. So it is lying, that means inferior border lies between diaphragm and kidney, left kidney, diaphragm and left kidney. Okay. Now this border is in between gastric surface and renal surface. Are you finding one more border? Okay. So actually this is the intermediate margin which is separating the gastric surface from the renal surface. Yes, Hemalata?
Yes, ma'am.
So this, now are you finding there is one more like small border here, which is of course not so clearly defined. Actually, this is the internal border, okay, which separates the diaphragmatic from colic surface. Okay. Now, what are the two ends I told you? Already, medial end and lateral end. Medial end, how many centimeters away from vertebral column?
4.
4. Okay, and we should measure it from T10. Okay, so medial end is directed superiorly and backwards. Superiorly and backwards. Okay, then lateral end is towards left and it is corresponding to mid-axillary line. Okay, this is medial end, this is lateral end. Medial end is 4 centimeters away from vertebral column. Lateral end is towards the mid-axillary line. Lateral end is towards the left mid-axillary line. Okay. Then now see, don't read anything. I will show you everything here. Now this is, now we have seen this picture when we were doing peritoneum. So now what are the organs you have here? Stomach. This is the lesser sac area. In front you will have greater sac. This is liver. Okay, that means this is lesser omentum. In front of lesser omentum, greater sac. I told you unlimited times. Behind the lesser omentum, this is lesser sac. Lesser sac. Okay, I'm giving you the orientation of picture. This is spleen. This is left kidney. Now let us see the connections now. Are you finding connection between stomach and spleen?
Yes.
This is gastrosplenic ligament. What is the name of the connection? Gastrosplenic ligament. Are you finding connection between left kidney and spleen? The name of the ligament is splenorenal, also called as lenorenal. I'll show you the spelling. Splenorenal or lenorenal. Okay. Then, so that is the splenic ligaments are these two ligaments, and they are actually. Are you finding blood vessels also here? One blue and one red. That means the splenic artery and splenic vein are actually moving along these ligaments, which are actually attached at the hilum of spleen. Hilum, entry and exit point. Exactly at that point you will find these connections, anteriorly with stomach, posteriorly with the kidney, left kidney. Okay, that is. Now the peritoneum, spleen, you see, you can see the spleen is completely covered with peritoneum. Okay, everywhere you will see the spleen is covered with peritoneum, hence it is called as intraperitoneal organ. Okay, then two ligaments are there. What are those? Gastrosplenic ligament. Okay, between, already I told you, spleen and the greater curvature of the stomach. So what are the blood vessels? Here you are finding short gastric vessels and left gastroepiploic vessels are moving in the gastrosplenic ligament you use. Instead of momentum, we can make use of the simple word gastrosplenic ligament. Okay, the name of the blood vessels are short gastric. You remember splenic artery branches?
Yes.
Left
Yes,
gastric.
ma'am.
Isn't it short
Yes.
gastric? I told you left gastroepiploic.
Epiploic.
Instead, you can
Yes.
use the word splenic artery branches also, but to be more specific, okay, short gastric and left gastroepiploic vessels. Okay, the anterior layer. See here, I told you all these area is greater sac. Yes.
Yes.
In front of the stomach, this is greater sac. So this anterior layer of gastrosplenic ligament is derived from greater sac, and the posterior layer is derived from lesser sac. Diagram is very clear. Meghana, did you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
This is the anterior layer, beta. Anterior layer is derived from the greater sac and posterior layer is derived from lesser sac. Okay. Now, screen share is giving some. What are you finding on the screen? Can you see splenico-renal ligament or leno-renal ligament now on the screen? Yes? Ansraj?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
So this leno-renal or splenico-renal, okay, is the ligament which is connecting the spleen to the left kidney. So again you see it as anterior layer and posterior layer. Without reading anything, you can tell me now. Anterior layer is formed by which sac? This is anterior layer, no? Ritika, anterior layer is formed by?
Lesser sac,
Very good. Posterior layer is formed by?
greater sac.
Greater sac. Is this point clear? It is quite opposite to what we have read for gastrosplenic ligament. Okay. Now, what are the blood vessels it is carrying? It is also carrying the splenic vessels. They are also splenic vessels, but specifically you told the short gastric artery and left gastroepiploic. Both are splenic branches, arteries, branches coming from splenic artery. Okay. Then see, lenophrenic. Leno means what? Spleen. Phrenic means
Spleen.
what? Diaphragm.
Kidney.
Okay.
Diaphragm.
So there is a ligament which is not actually, leno means it is actually adjoining part of the diaphragm, connecting the hilum of spleen to the adjoining part of the diaphragm. Okay, like this. Not so, it is not so clearly visible. Okay, it suspends the spleen. Suspends means it holds the spleen from behind. नीचे से पकड़ के रख रहा है. Because diaphragm is behind only, no? Isn't it? So that's why you call this ligament as suspensory ligament of spleen. Suspensory. Suppose this is like this. Ligament is behind. Holding the spleen from behind. You call it as suspensory ligament of spleen. Okay? Then there is one ligament called as phrenico-colic. Phrenico means?
Diaphragm.
Colic means which colic flexion?
Left.
Left.
Is it anywhere attached to the spleen now by the name?
No.
No. नाम के हिसाब से तो वो spleen पे कहीं पे भी attachment नहीं ले रहा. But it is supporting the spleen from behind again. From the diaphragm to the left colic flexure it runs, and it is as though you are holding the baby in hand like this. It supports, okay, from behind, okay, that is left colic flexure to the diaphragm, okay, at these ribs across this 10th and 11th ribs you will find phrenico-colic ligament, okay. It is actually suspending the spleen, no? Hence it is called as sustentaculum lenis. The special name given because it is holding, retaining, you call it as sustentaculum lenis. Okay. Now coming to blood supply. Already we have studied enough about this blood vessel. What is the name of this artery, Lokesh? చూడంగానే ఫటాఫట చెప్పాలి బట్ ఆన్సర్స్. What is the name of this artery?
Splenic artery, ma'am.
Very good. It's a branch of which artery, beta?
Celiac trunk.
Celiac trunk. How is the course of this artery? Is it straight or tortuous?
Tortuous.
Tortuous.
Cross.
Very good. Where is it going?
Spleen.
Hilum. Hilum of the spleen. Okay. Now, what are the branches you are finding? See, the splenic artery is the largest branch of the celiac trunk. It has tortuous course. It is seen at the upper border of pancreas. Okay. And see how many branches it is dividing before entering into spleen. Around 6 branches. How many?
6.
Now correspondingly, you will have splenic vein. Splenic vein joins with which vein to form portal vein?
Superior mesentery.
Excellent. Very good, Hansraj. Okay. Splenic vein joins with superior mesenteric vein to form portal vein. Into the splenic vein, which vein is draining? Meghana? Into the
Left colic.
Left. Is it left colic? Imad, what is the name of this vein? Which is opening in the splenic vein? Chabi?
Inferior mesenteric, ma'am.
Very good, very good. Inferior mesenteric vein. Who gave the answer?
Ma'am.
Very good, very good.
Oh.
Yeah, inferior mesenteric vein is draining into splenic. So splenic and superior mesenteric will join to form portal vein. Okay. So that is the venous drainage of spleen. Okay. Now coming to the lymphatics, the lymphatic vessels, they are actually starting at the hilum and they course through the splenic artery, and finally, like stomach, if you remember lymphatic drainage, all lymph was coming to celiac nodes. Similarly, from here also lymph is traveling and finally reaching the celiac group of lymph nodes. Okay. Now, coming to the nerve supply, the nerves are accompanying the splenic artery, as you can see here. This tortuous, colorless artery is splenic artery only. Whatever yellowish nerves are there, celiac. Actually, they form this plexus of nerves is actually celiac plexus. Okay. Now, coming to the applied anatomy. Yesterday, one applied point, Himalata told us, spleen will get enlarged in case if there is any malaria. Splenomegaly. Okay, now see, this picture is actually showing us ruptured spleen. Such rich lymphoid tissue, no, it is rich in blood also. Actually, spleen is called as reservoir of blood. Okay. So at least 250 ml of blood is stored in the spleen. Suppose if the person is meeting with road traffic accidents, the spleen will contract and it will just release 250 ml of blood into systemic circulation so as to sustain life. That's why it is actually called as reservoir of blood also. Okay. So spleen is an organ most often damaged by abdominal trauma. Such tender organ, no, it is. So if there is any injury on the abdomen, easily it gets ruptured. Okay. Whenever it gets ruptured, it causes like severe internal hemorrhage, and which may lead to hypovolemic shock. Hypovolemic shock means the blood volume should be normally 5 liters in the cardiovascular system, but because of the rupture of blood vessels, that whole blood is now leaking into peritoneal cavity. The blood volume will fall to 3 liters, 2 liters. Do you think it will be sufficient to supply that tissues, 2 liters, 3 liters, it will not
No.
be so much sufficient. So that type of shock is actually called as hypovolemic shock. Hypo means low, volemia means blood volume is reduced. We call it as hypovolemic shock, which may occur due to the rupture of splenic arteries. Okay. So if surgically removed, liver and red bone marrow will take the function of spleen. That means even if you remove spleen also, it is not so harmful or dangerous. Now the function of spleen will be carried by the liver and red bone marrow. Okay. So generally suture repair, this mesh is kept, actually this is mesh clamping, which you will learn during surgery. Okay, splenomegaly, yesterday one condition we have learned, that is due to malaria. Apart from that, the splenomegaly is occurring if there is any cancer, blood cancers, leukemia. Okay, in leukemia also you will see the spleen will be highly enlarged. Okay, so
फिर पूरा
ruptures,
पेट क्यों फूल रहा है?
पूरा इतना बड़ा हो जाता बेटे, ये पूरा पेट स्प्लीन से ऑक्युपाइड है, पूरा पेट के अंदर स्प्लीन है, इतना बड़ा हो गया. ओके, so suppose if there is any high infections, then like malaria and all, you will see the spleen will be enlarged.